A diagram is shown where line K is parallel to line L and line M is a transversal. Move statements and reasons to the table to prove that angle 1 is congruent to angle 5. So here we have a proof. Remember, a transversal is a line that intersects two or more lines. Here we want to prove that angle 1 is congruent to angle 5. So if we look at our two angles here, angle 1 and angle 5, are alternate interior angles. They're on opposite sides of the transversal, which makes them alternate, and they're inside parallel lines K and L, which makes them interior. So this is an alternate interior angle proof. So we're always going to start with our given line K is parallel to line L. Now, the goal with an alternate interior angle proof is we need to get angle 1 and angle 5 congruent to the same angle, so that we can use the transitive property to say that they're congruent to each other. So here our first reason is filled in, and it says corresponding angles are congruent. So if we look here, angle 1 and angle 3 are corresponding angles because they are on the same side of the transversal and they are in the same position. So first we're going to say that angle 1 is congruent to angle 3 because corresponding angles are congruent. Now we need to figure out a way to get angle 3 congruent to angle 5. Because if angle 1 is congruent to angle 3 and angle 3 is congruent to angle 5, then we can use the transitive property to say they're congruent to each other. So if we look at our pictures, we can say that angle 3 is congruent to angle 5 because they are vertical angles. And we know that vertical angles are congruent. Remember, vertical angles are across from each other. So here 3 and 5 is an example of vertical angles. Now, if we look at steps 2 and 3 in our proof, we have angle 1 is congruent to angle 3, and angle 3 is congruent to angle 5. So by the transitive property, we could say that if angle 1 is congruent to angle 3, and angle 5 is also congruent to angle 3, then angle 1 and angle 5 must be congruent to each other, and we've completed our proof.